Welcome back to the dumbest guy in the room. Today's guest was one of Philadelphia's young and upcoming MMA fighters. He is currently 3-0 in his amateur career. His last win was quick, real quick, and this kid's got potential. He's hungry, he wants it, and today he really opens up about who he is, what he's trying to achieve, what he's working on, how the gym and the people around him help him get better each and every day. Now, his last name cannot buy a vowel. Misspelled it 100 times. You had to correct me. But with that being said, man, I just want to thank the Darce Chocolate, Dmytryk.
All right, Steven, I appreciate you coming on, man. We are back with another episode. Today, I'm really excited, dude, and obviously, I'm sitting in the Jeep, and you're in your car because you graciously jumped on last minute to have this conversation with me. And I really do appreciate that, brother.
Appreciate you having me, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm really excited to hear your story because I really don't know. I don't know much about it, so it's brand new for me. But to get started, dude, like, can you just kind of share what it is, like who you are, what it is that you do, and just a little bit about your story, dude, and we kind of dig in from there.
Yeah. My name's Dmytryk. I'm a 3-0 amateur fighter, MMA fighter. I'm trying to think, man. I really just trying to get better every day, and I don't know. Trying to think what else I can tell you.
Well, I can dig in here, dude, because I think one of the hardest things that people don't realize is you're not asked that question much.
Yeah, dude, that was a tough one.
Who are you is one of the harder questions that we do have to answer. But based on kind of seeing you a few times, I've met you briefly, shook your hand at the Forge, whether you remember or not when I visit from South Carolina. But you're a younger guy, dude. How old are you?
I'm 20.
20 years old. So you're a 3-0 fighter. That's 20 years old. I mean, that's relatively young, especially for myself. I started in July and I'm 34, dude. So, you'd still fuck me up. When being 20 years old, when was it that you first got started into MMA? Like what brought you there and how old were you? So how long have you been doing this?
Yeah. So I wrestled when I was probably like 8 or 9 years old for like 2 years. And I kind of fell away from it. Unfortunately, I wish I kept doing it, and then my sophomore year of high school, I started doing jiu-jitsu, and just right around the corner from me, small gym. And then I started wrestling my junior year. That's actually a really good story. How I started wrestling, because I started wrestling back up. I went to a couple practices my sophomore year, and I feel like during that time period, I just really wasn't in like a good state of mind. Low confidence. I really didn't know who I was or where I was going. And I think those three or four practices I went to kind of broke me. And this is like the beginning of my sophomore year. And I really, I just told the coach, I said, this isn't for me. I'm not coming back. And, a couple months go by, I got in a couple scuffles on like a basketball team. And, I said to myself, I was like, I was just sick of what I was doing with my life. At a young age, I kind of realized I was like, all right, I got to start doing something productive. And, I got in a couple scuffles, and I was like, you know what? Like, I kept driving by this place every day. I was like, let me go in, see what jiu-jitsu is. And, that's really how I got started. And then I ended up going back my junior year. I hit the wrestling coach up. Me and him worked all summer. And I ended up having a decent high school career for, starting in my junior year pretty much. So.
Yeah, I mean, wrestling was tough, dude. Wrestling was a tough sport. Anybody that was kind of doing that back when I was in high school definitely had the upper hand in those street fights.
Yeah.
Because MMA really wasn't too popular at that point. So you said growing up you had some scuffles in school. Some things were happening, weren't really feeling the wrestling stuff. And where did you grow up? Northeast? Are you a Northeast Philly guy, or what neighborhood?
Yeah. So I grew up. I'm trying to think. I think maybe when I was like, maybe like 10 years old. Up until I was 10 years old, I grew up around Fox Chase. Just me, my mom, my sister. In small apartments, whatever. And then my mom saved up for a house where I'm still at right now in Bustleton. And so I've been here for 10 years, I guess, half my life, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's awesome, dude. And
Yeah.
kudos to your mom, dude, for being able to do that. I mean,
Yeah.
you said sisters?
What's that?
You had two sisters? You and
No, just one sister.
what's it? Okay. So
Yeah.
for just having two kids though, dude, like I have three myself, and I couldn't imagine trying to do that. And then
Yeah.
same for kudos to Ma Dukes. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And Bustleton's pretty nice, dude. I mean, my grandparents, that's where my dad grew up there. My whole family,
Yeah.
generations in Philadelphia. But my
Nice.
stomping ground was Parkwood, dude. So
Yeah.
that's
So
kind of
that's
how I
where
fell in love.
that's where my dad grew up, actually.
Really?
Yeah, he grew up in Parkwood. Yep.
Is I mean, do you mind me digging into that, dude? Like what happened with your old man?
Oh no, I'm cool. Me and my dad are cool. My dad helps me a lot. He he's paying for my gym memberships right now. So yeah, he's the man. I go over there for steak all the time. So
That's awesome. Where's he living now?
yeah, he's
still in Parkwood?
right around the corner from me. He's probably 2 minutes from me. So
Bustleton?
yeah, Bustling. Yep.
Not many people from Parkwood ever leave, dude. It's you get trapped there.
Yeah.
You get trapped.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. That is awesome. So what high school did you go to?
So I went to Archbishop Wood. A lot,
You went
a lot farther than Archbishop Ryan would have been, but
It's probably best for you though, man.
yeah, I love Wood. My one friend, and I'm still friends with him to this day. Like he was just at my fight. His whole family was just at my fight. They come to all my fights. I was supposed to go to Ryan, and then him and his mom were like, trying to get me to come to Wood. They're like, come to Wood. So I ended up going to Wood, and I, great few years there. Started wrestling there. So yeah, it was a great time there.
Everything happens for a reason, and
Yeah.
you where you needed to be at that time. I grew up in, like I said, in Parkwood, and I only made it through half a freshman year at Ryan before they kicked me out, and I ended up in Washington, and a lot of decisions from there that led me to a much harder life than it needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, man, that's one of the reasons why I like seeing guys like you, 20 years old, at the Forge, very that learning MMA, dude, and just simply training. You don't even. I mean, I want to fight one day, dude. I do, at least once. But just the training in itself I thought I was disciplined. I thought I was good mentally until I started to train MMA, and I realized that I wasn't nearly where I could be. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of changed that perspective. And being 20 years old, man, like you did exactly what I tell Christy and Kyle they do for the community I grew up in, was they put a gym somewhere where there's going to be a kid that walks by and says, let me just see what this is. And that kid's life trajectory is going to change forever. Which kind of happened with you. So you said you walked by a gym. Which gym did you walk by that got you to come in?
Yeah, so I used to drive by it every day, and it's funny. I literally thought it was a restaurant because I had no idea what Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was. Like, I had no idea what it was.
Which gym was it?
It's RH Studios.
RH Studios. Okay.
Yeah, it's right around the corner from me, and I'm really grateful for everyone I met there. I had my last two fights. I had people from where I started training. They came and watched me and to support, and it was great to see them. So that's where I started at. I was there for, trying to think, I think I was there for like 2 years. And then I ended up tearing my pec wrestling and had to take a little time off. And then I ended up switching gyms. But yeah, that was a great gym. And that's where I got my base from. So.
Yeah, man, I think you always remember that. And I like to ask everybody this, dude, is that kind of first memory of walking into a gym like that? I was 4 years old walking into a gym owned by the only thing I've seen was two guys that fought on TV.
Mm-hmm.
scared as fuck, dude. CJ's having me go in there, but
Yeah.
I love CJ to death, so I trust him. So I'm like, he's not trying to kill me, but the nerves walking in there, dude, at that age is kind of, nerve wracking. But I don't know if I'd be able to do it at 20 either. I would have made up every excuse in the book not to.
Yeah.
Were there nerves there when you were walking into that gym and decided to stick with it?
Yeah, there definitely was nerves. I mean, like I said, I think I was 15 when I walked in, and I was like, I had no idea what to expect. I looked it up a little bit before, and I was like, all right, what is this? Just so I know like what I'm getting myself into a little bit. And but like I said, the people there were so nice, and it was like, it was weird because I went one night and then I didn't go for a couple of days, and I think my mom had already paid for a month or whatever, right? And I remember I was sitting playing video games. This is like a vivid memory. I'm sitting in my room playing video games, and she came and knocked on my door, and she's like, "Are you going to train, whatever?" And I was like, "Nah, like not tonight." And she was like, "All right, well, you have to start going, or I'm not going to pay for this." And that's when it clicked. That's when I was like, I didn't really know what I was going to do with it, but I went that night, and I was like, all right, I love this. Like, I feel like it was an instant. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I didn't know I was going to fight, but I think it was just, it was something I was chasing that I didn't know what it was yet, but I wanted to get there. And yeah, so since that day, I haven't stopped training really.
And if you're anything like me, man, you're still chasing something. There's always something that kind of like, I feel like I'm on the right path. I'm just not really quite too sure. But at the same time, man, MMA, is something that you can. For me, it's a meditation almost with with a lot of danger, but it's like a meditation because it's me being present. Like me trying to get onto this podcast today, rushing, working late, driving. I had an hour and a half drive home. All these things are going through my head as far as like what I have to get done, what I have to do, what I have to do after this. When you go into the gym and it's time to train, that's all you're doing. And I don't have to I'm not thinking about that other stuff because I know the guy in front of me could kill me. So I just don't want to get, choked out or, knocked out. So you're kind of present. For me, that's what it does.
No, now, I totally agree. I think everything you're worried about when you walk in, as soon as you step on the mat, it's like, all right, it's gone. It's gone. You know what I mean? It's great. It's a great ththing.
It is a crazy feeling, man.
Yeah.
It really is. It is wild. And Chris and Kyle got me addicted. And now my kids, which that's the main reason. That's why I really do love my kids have become so much more confident, dude. They've been doing it's almost a year now that they've been training. They do Muay Thai and they do jiu-jitsu. And they love it. Their confidence levels are through the roof. Their behavior has shifted.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a huge impact for walking into that gym made a huge impact on my life generation, really, not just me, but for generation, which is pretty cool. Now, what I found, dude, is so again, the little bit that I've known you, but you walking into that cage on Saturday. So you were the first one to go out of the guys from the Forge, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yep.
So I did. I was streaming it. So you guys had probably the only person in South Carolina streaming the Art of War fight. But watching you come out, you have like this kind of, it's a very good attitude behind you. I can see it. If I was there, I'm sure you can kind of feel it. But you not only had, Chris, you not only had the guys from the Forge, but what's his name, the Philly fighter,
Matt Turnbull.
Turnbull was with you, correct?
Yeah, and his brother Nick. Yeah.
So I don't know them personally at all. Never met them. I just heard, obviously heard about them through a lot of the guys at the Forge trained with them, previously.
Yeah.
And they just, say how much of a killer he is. How did you get involved with him as well? Is that somebody you trained with in the past? Is it?
So
I'm not mistaken. Your nickname has something to do with him too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we always joke about this because Matt is like one of my best friends now, and if Matt calls me and says, "Yo, you want to go run," or if I call Matt and say, "Yo, you want to go for a run," or whatever, like we always know the other person's saying yes. You know what I mean? But I met Matt. I'm trying to think. I want to say my junior year of high school, maybe my senior year. I think like going out of my junior year, and he opened the gym, and just like a lifting gym, like weightlifting. And it was like a free month giveaway. So I was like, all right, screw it, I'll put my name in, whatever. Like, and I ended up winning, and I started going there, and I don't know, I guess I don't know how it happened, but we ended up just clicking, dude. Like it was like we always knew the other was showing up to put work in, and I think that's what we like about each other. Like we're always down to get better, and go for a run, go for a lift, go hit pads, whatever. So yeah, that's how I met Matt, and then I ended up switching gyms because of Matt. I was like, let me go train with this guy because, like you said, he's a killer, and that's when I met his brother Nick, and yeah, so I'm really good friends with those guys. Those guys are like my brothers.
So you basically started as your strength and conditioning coach, and then ultimately being a training partner.
Yeah, pretty much. I feel like that's when it really clicked for me because when I was at my original gym, me and the coach over there, the striking coach over there, were talking, and he was bringing me to other gyms to spar and stuff. But the owner of that gym literally said to me, he's like, this isn't really like an MMA gym. Like, this is, you can get, come here and get better at jiu-jitsu, get better at Muay Thai, whatever. But it's really not a place for a fighter. And so that's why I ended up leaving there. And it ended up working out. So I ended up going to Martinez, BJJ with Matt. And I was there for a couple months. Or probably was there for like 2 years on and off because I was at school. But yeah.
Okay, so you were a Martinez guy as well.
Yeah,
that was actually the first gym I've ever. That was actually the first gym I've ever walked into.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I wasn't living up there, but CJ and I used to work together, and when I would come up and work with him, that's where he was training at. Probably and this is a little funny story just to put it out there, but I never did jujitsu or anything, and I was like, what do I wear, dude? Like, do I just wear shorts and a t-shirt? He's like, I'll give you something. So he gives me the Few Will Hunt, gear, and I go and I show up, and he tells Martinez, he's like, hey, my buddy's here. He's up from whatever. He just wants to come in for the day pace. And me, because I didn't realize this, but the view of everybody else in the gym, they thought that I had a lot of experience because of what I was wearing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I didn't realize that at the time, but people just assumed that I, did this before because I had a Few Will Hunt on there. Like, dude, you're wearing that expensive ass gear. It's your first day. I'm like, hey, my bad, dude. I probably should have said something, but that experience was a lot different than the Forge. But at the same time, that experience was a very well. I mean, that gym's been around forever with a bunch of people in there prior to me getting there. So the Forge, I was there the first day, which was obviously going to be different. Mm-hmm. So then obviously you at some point moved over to the Forge. At what point did you make that decision?
So so the last 2 years I wrestled down at Rowan College in South Jersey. So my summers I would spend at, Martinez. And then when I was down there, I was training under Jonathan Webb at Webb MMA. And so then when I got my first fight in December, I was kind of going back and forth. On Sundays, I would go spar at Martinez. And then I'm trying to think. My second fight, I was still doing that. And then this last one, guys started trying to, kind of leave in Martinez. And, I wanted to stick it out there. I'm a big fan of Will. He got me a lot better. But ultimately, I just decided I was like, I gotta move over to the Forge where, all my boys are. A lot of guys my size, which is something I'm not used to, but it's nice. I'm used to it now. But and I really didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how Chris and Kyle would be as like coaches. I don't know. I didn't really know them that well before actually joining there. But now I feel like I made the right decision. Like Chris and Kyle, I feel like they're both really good coaches. And I've gotten a lot better since I've been there, and I've really only been there for a month. So, oh yeah, but to answer your question, when I was done school, that's when I switched over pretty much. So a couple months ago, like last 2 months ago.
I mean, you answered the question just fine, man. And
Yeah.
it's not, that can't be an easy decision. You know, you kind of build a family. Your coach is somebody you kind of look up to, you mentor, and, you know, you have to do what's best for you, dude. And I'm a big believer that, you know, you gotta, the trust is in your gut, man. Like there's just this feeling that kind of at some point tells you, yo, go, this is what you gotta do. And you gotta listen to it, you know, and if it wasn't the right decision, you'll learn and you can correct. You're young, and that's what you can make those healthy mistakes, you know?
Yeah.
Don't be making the mistakes like me and, you know, a lot of other people have doing drugs and drinking and getting arrested, and that's not healthy. That's not healthy mistakes when you repeat that shit over and over again. But it seems like you're making really good decisions for yourself. Now your nickname, dude, I need to, when they called your name and they gave your nickname, talk to me about this a little bit. What's the nickname? How'd you get it? And what's it mean to you?
So the nickname is Darce Chocolate. For anyone who doesn't know, a Darce is just it's a choke. So I actually got it. This is like probably a year and a half ago, or no, probably a year ago. Before I had any fights, me and my roommate went up to a jiu-jitsu tournament, and I think I ended up getting like 4 Darces that day, 4 or 5 Darces, like something crazy. Like, and you know, he knew who Turnbull was. You know, I'm always training with him, whatever. And he was like, "Oh, dude, your name should be Darce Chocolate." So I was like, "All right, that's cool, whatever." But then my first fight in December, the ring announcer asked me, he's like, "Oh, like what's your you know, what's your nickname, whatever?" And Turnbull was like, "Yeah, do Darce Chocolate, do Darce Chocolate." So I did that, and I love it, dude. I think it's great. I like it. I drink a shit ton of chocolate milk, so it kind of works there too. You know what I mean? So, and that's how people know me, and people like the name. So,
well, what's Turnbull's nickname?
oh, his is white chocolate.
White chocolate. So it's kind of a play on, you know, your
a little bit.
Mentors. And it's and it also kind of characterizes your a specialty of yours. The fact that your Darce Chocolate play any part in moving to a gym that was coached by the Darce Knight? Like, did that? No. I mean, that have any decision there?
I mean, a little bit, dude. You know, it's nice because, you know, obviously Kyle knows a thing or two about the Darce, and that's like one of my best moves. So, you know, to be able to go learn that from a guy who's done it. I forget how many Darce subs he has just in his pro career, but it's a lot. Yeah. And so I'm getting to learn from that. And yeah, it's great, dude. It's great. I told him before my last fight, I think right before I walked out, I was like, if I get a Darce right here, I'm getting on the mic and saying I have the best Darce in Philly. So I didn't get the Darce, so I didn't say it, but maybe next time.
Hey man, and that's probably like one of the best things about those guys. Chris actually came on this podcast. So I stopped doing it for a while after my mom died. I actually had my mom on as a guest, and then she passed away, and I stopped for about a year and a half.
Sorry.
But then I had Chris. Thanks, brother. But then I had Chris on, and I think, you know, one of the biggest things that I've picked up on those dudes from the time I met them till even now is they want you guys to be better than them. They're not going to let you, but that's what they're there to do. They want you to push yourself to the point of being better than they ever were, man. And that's an amazing thing. That's something that's what you need. That's what you want to see in a mentor. You don't want to see them hand you the throne. You know what I mean? But you want them to be pushing you to get to that point, and you should be watching them also push themselves to make sure they stay up there. And as long as you have that, and you can joke around like that and chase each other like that, man. That's how you know you got a healthy mentor and healthy team surrounding you. So just to pick the fight that you just had that I just watched, again, don't really know that situation, but what I saw was some bad blood. That didn't look like a fight that was between two guys that were just having their third fight and didn't know each other.
Mm.
What was that about? Did you know him? Was there some beef going on prior to this?
I
'Cause you
I
look
think
like
it's
you were out for it.
yeah. I mean, I'm there for it, dude. I don't like talking shit. This sport has given me everything in my life. You know what I mean? Like, and I think it should be a respectful sport. Like, I respect anyone who steps on the mat with me, anyone in the cage with me. But unfortunately, you have a few bums in this sport that they're gonna talk shit, and it's usually the weakest ones. You know what I mean? So, but that stemmed from my second fight. I fought a guy, CJ Gabner. I think that was his name. And they were talking online, whatever. Um, and like I said, this is a respectful sport. So when you're getting disrespectful, I'm gonna talk shit after. You know what I mean? um, so CJ, my nickname's Dark Chocolate. He brought a piece of chocolate to the weigh-ins and said, this is the only I don't know, this is the only chocolate you're getting from, I don't know, something dumb. Like, and I was like, all right, cool. And so the guy I fought last night is one of his friends. And when I walked out, he said, "I want you next," with a bad word after that, whatever. And said he was gonna knock me out in the first round. Had all his little loser teammates comment on my posts, talk saying stuff to my teammates and stuff. And I was just sick of it, dude. But at the end of the day, that guy's not on my level, and I knew that, and I think you could see from the walkout, it was pure confidence. There's a picture of me staring him down in the back. He wouldn't look at me. He's a loudmouth, and I mean, we saw who can actually fight. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, according to him, after the fight, dude, you still couldn't fight for some reason. I don't know what that was about. I guess
yeah,
you beat him in a way that he thought you should beat him, but you took.
yeah,
I mean, that was quick, brother. It was quick.
yeah.
It was to the point. And then when I think I texted CJ or right after that and was like, I was like, this dude's like still talking shit, because he got up and was still talking shit that you
Yeah.
won. Like, what was he saying? You don't have hands? Is that?
He was saying, I don't even know what he's saying. He was saying to my corner, but the guy I fought in March pretty much said the same thing. That he was DMing me because I DM'd him, talked a little trash after I won Saturday. They say I have no hands. The guy I fought in March, he got outstruck. I don't think he didn't land. He definitely didn't land one punch, no matter what he thinks. And it was a 3-round fight. I don't know how you don't land a punch in 3 rounds. That's pretty tragic for someone who calls himself a kickboxer. And then, Tim's a little hothead. Tim's got some stuff he's got to work on in his life. But yeah, he didn't get beat the way he wanted to get beat. So whatever, he was getting beat regardless. So it doesn't really matter how I finished it.
You finished it. You did your job. You went in there and made it your fight. You didn't allow him to dictate that. And that is part of the sport nowadays, man. A lot of guys, you see it at the elite level. They talk shit and they try to get you to come to, fight their fight. I mean, Conor McGregor was notorious for that.
Yeah.
He'd get in their head and he would make them, come out of their fighting style and fight their fight. And I think one of the most impressive things that you did, I mean, he should probably just go box then, because MMA, there's a lot of guys in the fucking UFC that don't have hands, and they're not in there for that. They're in there to watch yours and get the takedown. A lot of wrestlers in there. And at the end of the day, if you can take them down, man, I mean, that's a very, very, very strong skill set to have. So it blows my mind how people that fight MMA could still have that mindset. Maybe he's young. I don't know. But I think when you fight MMA, man, you should kind of understand that mixed martial arts is to see which martial
Yeah.
art is the best martial art. And obviously, whatever martial arts you have, were we're a lot better than his.
I think I think they both got spared. I mean, they think I have no hands. I think my hands have gotten a lot better than they were, and they were never bad. Unfortunately, I didn't have to use them on Tim. I wanted to punch him in the face a couple times, but when you talk all that shit, at weigh-ins he's talking shit. His girlfriend looked embarrassed to be with him, and then you get mauled in 40 seconds. I think that's pretty funny, to be honest. So two fighters from Lancaster that couldn't hit me fought two. They've hit me 0 times. So I think it's hilarious. I got the last laugh, and they should thank whatever God they believe in that I wasn't allowed to ground and pound.
And not only that, man, I think that when I asked you to start this podcast, because you're not in your, I feel like the cage was kind of, you were home and you're still trying to find it in the beginning, as far as like seeing how comfortable it is in there. And the only reason I say that is I would look way more nervous than you. But when I watch Brandon and Wild Mike, those two in the ring, dude, like their whole mentality, everything about them when they walked in there was like, I'm home. It was just different. Mm-hmm. So like, you're being young and training with those dudes, and Brandon's a young guy too, but whatever he's been doing mentally and spiritually has obviously got him on some weird level that I couldn't understand at his age. But like they just look like so at home. It was insane, like so comfortable, like no hesitancy at all. I talked to Wild Mike. He disagrees. He's like, I wish I was like more like Brandon, but no one can see what's going through anybody's head, dude. These are all assumptions. Yeah. The thoughts going through each of your heads, you have no fucking clue what they actually are. But anyway, dude, where I was going with that is coming on here, and I asked you who you were, and you were like kind of choked up, and we're like, who the fuck am I?
Yeah.
I'll tell you that when you grab your presence and your the way that you talk on the mic was very strong, dude, for being so emotional at that time. I felt like it was very entertaining, and I feel like in MMA they look for that. They want that the guy that's going to be entertaining, that's going to have an entertaining fight, but also kind of get the fans riled up and bring fans in. And I felt like you really brought a good energy and mic presence. Is that something that you kind of worked on, or was that just pure adrenaline coming out?
Dude, honestly, dude, I'm just myself. You know what I mean? Like that. Mike Bickings texted me after the last fight. The first time I fought for him was my second fight, and he was like, "Oh, like we love the personality you bring, whatever." And I literally thought to myself, I was like, "I'm really just me." You know what I mean? I think I'm confident because of the work I put in, how hard I work, and who I'm working with. Like you said, like I'm working with Brandon Bohanna. Brandon's going to the UFC and whenever he wants to go. Matt Turnbull, he's one of the best fighters around here, no doubt in my mind. And then Chris and Kyle, like it's just the people I have around me. It's confidence, and when I get on that mic, I already knew what I was going to do, and then I did it. And so I think that's just me being me on the mic. I wanted to talk some shit to him after. I hope he heard every word of it. But yeah,
he definitely. He might not have. He heard you. He might not have been listening, dude. He was too busy justifying what just happened.
Yeah.
So you could explain it to the girl. And I don't want to talk shit to you because I don't. Like I said, I thought I could fight. Then I walked in the forge and realized I'm one of the biggest bitches I know. Because fighting, there's a whole nother level to this fucking thing. And I would not. I told my wife the first day I went, I said, "You're not allowed to come into that gym ever when I'm in there with anybody, because I'm not going to allow you to. You're not going to see me like that. When I'm around my wife, I'm like, I'm not dominated by any other guy. But you walk in the forge, you're going to watch me get raped by Lex Ludlow, and it's not going to be a good look for you. You might not love me anymore. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's one thing that talking that kind of shit, and then maybe he's young, dude. Like I said, I don't know him, and growing pains and hopefully he learns from it too, and he continues
Yeah.
that growth.
Mhm.
But you're right, man. You're surrounded by a bunch of good dudes. I got Brandon coming on tomorrow, so I don't know much.
Nice.
I know him very little. I spoke to him very little. I know, he was in Thailand for a while with CJ.
Yeah.
But he's a younger guy too, and I see the same things. I think he'll get the call if he keeps that up, man.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then hopefully, I mean, is that your ultimate goal, man? Is that where you want to be? Is that where you're aiming for? Are you trying to get that call as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still young in the sport, but I think it's my destiny. Like there's nothing in my life that's ever felt more right than like I literally was running today and I envisioned myself like I don't know how many fights from now, me on the mic saying like, Dana White, call me. Like, you know what I mean? And I think that's where I'm gonna be. I think that's where I'm gonna stay. And I think it's a matter of time. You know what I mean? So
Well, don't let anybody tell you it's not possible, brother, because
mhm.
I saw in that ring, I mean, you definitely got what it takes and you got the people around you.
Yeah.
So keep that mentality, dude. Don't and believe it.
Yeah.
Believe it with your core, and you don't need a backup plan, brother.
Mhm.
You just keep going, keep moving forward, and it will happen.
Yeah.
The last thing I just kind of want to I want to ask you guys this question because you've been with them the last month, but there's a big fight on Sunday, and
Mhm.
in that fight, it's one of your coaches, also known for the Darce. Uh,
Yes.
he's fighting a guy that I feel like most commentators, not all, but most commentators and the fans, one at first they were like, "Who the fuck is Kyle Dawkins? How the fuck did Kyle Dawkins get here?"
Yeah.
And being that they hated on him, they don't even know how they got there. And they don't think he's gonna win. He is an underdog. What are your thoughts, dude? What's gonna happen on Sunday, dude? What's gonna happen with Kyle and Bo?
I think Kyle's gonna get it done. I'm not just saying that because I'm on his team, but anyone from my team that goes into any cage, I have absolute confidence in. I see the work we do. I see what we go through. We all go through the same thing, and I think Kyle's a lot better than people give him credit for, and I think being signed back to the UFC, I think that kind of rejuvenates him. You know what I mean? Like he's got a new like I'm trying to think of the word, like a new I don't know. I'm trying to find my word here. Like he knows what he wants now. And I think I think he's gonna go take Bo out, and I think he's gonna shock the world, and it's gonna be great to see.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I think I don't know the exact words you're looking for, but watching Kyle the first time through, um, and coming out and
Mhm.
maintaining that pressure and that intensity to get back, and getting back
Yeah,
is something that's something that they're not really looking at, in my opinion, dude. Because somebody that can get
yeah,
through that and somebody that can almost fall completely on her face and feel like you lose everything to be able to
yeah.
get back up, push through that, and come back as an underdog, man, is like it's the
And
most
come
Philly
back better.
and
He
come
came
back
back better.
a
You know
lot
what I
better.
mean? Yeah,
He was able to kind of see, and I again, this is from an outside perspective here, but I feel like he was able to be like, all right, look, this is where I was actually lacking at. Instead of looking at it
yeah,
like this is bullshit, I should still be there. He kind of took it as like, okay, this is what was meant to be, and why. What do I need to work on? And then went and worked on that shit, and then made his
yeah.
strengths fucking stronger. And he is. I feel like he's going to show the world. Uh, he's going to show the world who Kyle Dawkins is, and it's going to change. It's going to change a lot of things. Uh,
Yeah.
for him, for his family, and I mean, him on the mic, dude. I don't know where he's getting that from, but he's sounding pretty good on interviews and stuff, man. I'm
Yeah.
enjoying that, dude. He's sounding a lot more comfortable, which is a huge update from before. 'Cause he was very quiet. He still is a pretty quiet and reserved
Yeah.
person. He's very good in the media. Maybe he
Mhm.
took some of that from you, dude.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
It's possible. Maybe Lex. Maybe Lex was in his ear a
Yeah,
little bit.
maybe Lex. Maybe Lex.
But
Yeah.
look, brother, I appreciate you getting on with such short notice, dude.
Yeah, bro.
I can't wait to watch you get that phone call, dude, and you can go
Mhm.
back and replay this episode, and you can look back and be like, damn,
Yeah.
dude, I was that young, and see your growth. You probably won't because it's hard to do, brother. I go back and watch my first podcast, and it's fucking so cringy. It's insane. And in 2 years from now, if I go back to watch this one, it's going to be cringy as well. But benefit of that, just constant growth, man. Just constant
Yeah.
growth. And I'm glad to, be one of the first guys to have you on, and I'll keep watching. I'll keep believing in all you guys. And when I'm up there in Philly, I will
Yeah.
be I will be in the Forge training with you guys. So
Hell yeah. I appreciate you, bro.
yeah, I appreciate it, dude. And like I said, man, keep it up. And
Mhm.
I will. I'll get back with you. I'll have you back on again. After a little bit, and check out that progress, see where you're at, and how everything's going. All right.
Hell yeah, bro. I appreciate you having me, dude.
Yes, sir, man. You enjoy the rest of your night, dude. And like I said, man, keep it up, brother.